All right, folks. Well, it's my favorite thing that I get to say that we'll probably get to say more than a number of times by the time, this decade's over, assuming the show lasts that long. Who's ready to talk about AI this week? Because that's this week's episode of the PixelPlay podcast. Oh, boy. Well, anyways, my name is Adam, a.k.a. CS Radical, joined as always Chris, a.k.a. Jin and Chris. We are here, sans Kaylan, unfortunately. But we are here to talk about another thing that is happening in AI that we can't ignore and we have to go through. And this time I think it's probably the one that I think is getting the most attention out of everything so far.
Yeah.
So you kind of don't have a choice in this one.
This is crazy.
I mean, sometimes you just try to stay away from what's popular in the news because sometimes it's just like, who cares? Like if it's not a showcase, like we used to be that. And I think we learned pretty quickly that just trying to go off news stories didn't necessarily work for us sometimes because like it's trying to pretend you care about what's big in the news right now when they're games that you don't normally play much. This is kind of a very easy one to get somewhat invested in.
Oh yeah, I had opinions right away. So
lots of opinions, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Since it's just the two of us, I get to say my favorite line in all of podcast history with us. This might be a shorter show, and we'll see how we break that every single time.
Immediately going to be the longest episode we have ever recorded.
I feel like the smaller the number of people are on the show, the less we give a shit about time. I've learned this very well where I used to, when I would do solo stuff and be like, okay, clearly this will be solo because, I don't have anybody to bounce off of. And then I realized, oh, right, I forgot. I can go on tangents for literally no reason whatsoever. So.
No, that's never happened.
I never do that. No, you're right. You're right. But I'll try not to take too much time here and actually get on with what we've been playing. And I'll start because I have two reviews, and they're both the things that I was talking about last week. So I finally get to just finish talking about them.
Heck yeah.
I'll work my way up. Demon Tides. I finished you. You were fantastic. I still have complaints, though. I still put you at a 8 out of 10. I would love to put you higher than that, but I have too many little things that I have to dock points on here. And like I said, it is a great game, and if for an indie platformer, there's a lot of things to love about it. I genuinely think it might be my favorite soundtrack of the year. It might actually be my Earworm Award, and it's only March. And that's also standing next to Scott Pilgrim at the Anamanaguchi, by the way.
Oh,
so that tells you how
something.
good this soundtrack is, that I'm literally playing a Scott Pilgrim game next to it, and I like this soundtrack more. So
that's insane, actually, especially with Anamanaguchi.
Yeah. Well, it's also, I don't know if you've ever, because I know he's done stuff with Game Chops. Chris, you ever heard of Too Mellow?
Oh, yeah, of course.
He does it. So that makes some sense.
This makes sense all of a sudden. Okay.
So,
okay.
yeah. It's a fantastic soundtrack. If you're the people that like, lo-fi stuff or like just game beats sort of deal, if you're that kind of person that likes listening to that stuff, like I do with my work playlist, yeah, no, I got a lot of tracks out of this one. So, but for those that haven't been here and didn't know about this game when I talked about it last week, Demon Tides is essentially what I could say is like, a Wind Waker kind of like graphic style met with like an open world sort of, I guess. If Mario Odyssey was like one entire world-ish sort of deal. And that's where some of my complaints are going to be. But like when you do the platforming, there are, you try to collect gears, which progress you throughout the story. There are challenges that, you can get more currency out of and help you buy like these wacky outfits. There's some good fucking like fun punk rock level outfits in there. So there's a lot to like there. And I do like the style of it, both in terms of its visual and audio style, are fantastic. The characters, I said last week that some people might get put off to it because it's definitely designed for like this, hey there, fellow kids kind of vibe, where it's like, hey, here's what we probably think, that 10 to 16 demographic is going for. Especially with the way that like one of the characters pretty much just speaks like he's a streamer in chat. So there's stuff like that. But like the game is really, really fun to play. It only takes somewhere in the 13 to 15 hour range, so it doesn't take too much of your time. It's a little longer than I would have liked, to be honest. It does eventually start to be like, okay, I'm going to another spot. And the fact that you're traveling through water, kind of like what Wind Waker was, granted, it's faster than Wind Waker was, but you're still doing that, traveling across water to get to these just small areas that are like what I would just consider to be levels. Part of where my score is getting taken from is I think this would have been better if they just level it instead of being an open world. I think the open world it's just literally you in an ocean. Like it doesn't have that kind of like intrigue. So I think it would have been better if they had just made individual levels using this, and it probably would have been a little bit better. Also, the other major point against it, the camera sucks, like real bad. And you can also get kind of trapped on stuff here and there. So that doesn't help. But like, they really shouldn't have made indoor parts, because the camera does not like indoors at all. So there's little things like that. But again, indie game. I can be a little bit nicer about it. I still really enjoyed it a lot. The quote-unquote story that they're trying to tell isn't really anything to go home from, but none of the stories from like a Mario game aren't really that much different either. It's more just a vibe. I really think it's like I almost want to call it platformer and chill, because that's kind of the vibe I get from it. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say that it's a must play if you're like not a platformer guy, but if you're even remotely like into like say like a Mario Odyssey kind of game, I think this is something you take a look at, and it's not going to break the bank nearly to the same extent that Mario would. So.
Yeah, that's definitely something I plan on playing. I'm not going to lie. I love 3D platformers, and even just seeing the videos you've been putting up of it, that's definitely a must try for me.
And like the little bit of extra powers that you have too, like the being able to float, being able to like roll in the snake form that you have, like they do have a bit of variance to it. It kind of seems how with Odyssey where there's like the combinations of you throw the hat, you do the dive jump, like the little things you can do that. There is some of that too, and there are more combos that you can get as time goes on as well. So they actually do have a bit more of an emphasis on, hey, here's some other weird mix-ups you can do, because they'll also give you I can't remember what they call them. It's blanking me right now, but there are these like bonus like talismans or something like that you can put on the character that, your float will last a little bit longer, or actually you rise ever so slightly when you're floating, or like this certain jump is a little bit stronger. Like there's stuff like that kind of guides you to build it the way you want. And there are loadouts too, so you can switch them. It includes outfits too, so you can have, okay, here's my outfit that I wear just when I'm going through the ocean, because there is one that lets you go through the ocean faster. Like there is different applicability for what you want. Did I use it much? No, not really, but I think for speedrunner tech, that would be a big thing. Like, this is the kind of game, by the way, that if it gets played at GDQ, I will absolutely watch, because I want to see how people mess with this
is a GDQ game for sure.
So, yeah, I think it's a fantastic game for what it is. Obviously some room to grow, but that's what indie development is. It's not always going to be perfect. Unlike my 10 out of 10, finally, for the first time this year, Scott Pilgrim EX, which was a fucking no-brainer.
I'm like, you had a 10 out of 10? But no, this makes 100%. Yeah.
I want to try to nitpick it, and I mean, I can. It's not long enough. That's about the most I got.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, if you like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World from 2010, you're going to love this one. The soundtrack, I actually think I think they're almost right on par with each other. I was originally going to say, I think I might like Versus the World better. I think I might collectively like more of this one, because a lot more of them are not nearly as over the top, whereas some of them just kind of are really good background music. So I think they might have the edge now, but like there's so much more to this, because again, it does play a little bit more like a Metroidvania, where there's going back and forth in the map. The map isn't as big as I'd like it to be too. I think it could have used a few more like areas. I also wish that there was a little bit more with downtown Toronto. I'm like, man, I just want one more screen. I just want a couple more references in there. But it is what it is there. But like the combat is just a little bit better. The overall like scope of like what you can do with the characters is a little bit better. The weapon selection is a little bit better. Having things like assists now, where it's a little bit more than that, where like, again, I like using the Katanyagi twins for health, but like you continue to unlock more people as the game goes on, so you're getting more and more guys by the end of it. And the idea that like the entirety of this game is, hey, you're saving the OG band from being captured, and you're fighting alternate dimensional versions of certain characters. Like, oh my god, I have to at least talk about one of them. There is a big band version of Matthew Patel. So like black and white, like girl sitting on a piano singing her songs, kind of Matthew Patel. And I died as soon as I saw him and the music playing in the background. I'm like, this game I can't dock marks off this game now. I love it too much. Like, they do such a perfect job with how the referencing, so there's a lot of Easter eggs. Again, if you're a nerd, you're going to find a lot of references. If you're Canadian, you're going to find a lot of or a lot of references. And if you also know the visual novels or the comics, whichever way you want to go with them, there's some stuff for you there too. And I know this because there's a lot of shit that I looked at and I'm like, I don't know who you are. But I'm sure there's a point to you. And then on top of that, like, the beat 'em up action is better. And like I said, the only complaint I can make about it, honestly, I mean, there's two. One, like I said, I wish there was a little bit more to it. The second part is I really wish that they had a little more variance in the progression of it, because it ends up being very similar. It's just, okay, you gotta find this person. Okay, you found their instrument. Okay, but you need this riff. Almost kind of like when you play a song in the ocarina to do something. And then you unlock that area that leads to where the boss is, where you finish that part of the chapter. And it's just the same process over and over again. It's short, so it doesn't overstay that welcome, but it's like, I wish you just did one different thing so it doesn't feel like you're just copy and pasting. But it's not enough to sway me because, well, one of them takes place in the vegan police department. I'm not going to get upset, right? So, like, for every time that they're like, okay, here, do the same thing over again, they just go, well, here's this wacky shit. And I'm like, I can't be mad at you guys. It's so good.
Yeah. This looks delightful. I can't lie. This looks so good.
And like I can't wait to play with friends too, because I only played the solo. So
True.
with the amount of more chaos you can do, and I played on relatively easy difficulties, so like I wasn't super challenged because I wasn't planning on like playing this super hard until I had a bunch of friends to really play with this, so we could really go nuts on it. So I was more just kind of getting this in the heyday of like, all right, let's mess around with this, and then when it comes really time to get going, we'll ratchet things up. And I think like for the most part, it's relatively fair. Like I didn't find there's only one character that I think is a little bit bullshit. Do you remember how like this might have been intentional by the developers too? Because again, there's some reference. Do you remember those bitches from not Separation Anxiety, Maximum Carnage that did the hair whip?
Yes.
And how they were always annoying. They kind of have a character like that where it's the female characters again, but they do like a breakdancing, like a leg move every time they get up, so you can always get caught by it. So little things like that. But like there was never really a character, even a boss. Well, there's one boss that's a little annoying, but it's because you're not fighting the boss so much as you're trying to do a mechanic, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But like other than that, like any of the actual bosses that you fight, no problems with them. They're fantastic. Of course, you get every Easter egg that you could ask for from any of these kind of games. There's a train level, there's an elevator level, there's a boss fight that sounds very much like the music is from Ninja Turtles. So like they understood the assignment. We are making you this like 6 to 8 hour game that is just pure fucking nostalgia in every shape and form.
Oh yeah. And
I can't as hard as I could possibly try, I can't hate a thing about it.
No, I don't think I could either.
I mean, I guess apart from the fact that I can't play as Knives anymore. I'm a Knives stan. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, this looks so good.
It's perfect, man. I can't say enough good things about it. But anyways, now that I've put all the good things out, like try to top Scott Pilgrim there, bud. What have you been playing?
Oh, I can't top Scott Pilgrim. No, I can't. But I have beaten 2 games. The first one, I won't have much to say, but it's called Little Racers Street. It's an indie game. And fun fact, this is one of the oldest games in my backlog.
Of course it is.
I looked, so I stared playing it just because
I already know how old this is because the first video I saw is from 13 years ago.
Yeah, so it was funny because I started playing it again. I'm like, okay, this one's been in the backlog for a bit. I should beat it and then knock one out. I looked at my achievements, and I'd already unlocked a couple, and it was June 6, 2014 was the last time I had played this game a little bit. So the fact that it took me
this
a good
looks like
12
a PSP
years.
game, Chris. What the hell, man?
So the graphics that you're seeing in the video here don't match at least the PC version because obviously game's a bit older. But
this also came out in this video was released 13 years ago too. So
yeah, the game does actually look a lot nicer than this. Like I'm not saying it's more like zoomed in on the cars or anything like that. I just mean the actual like textures of the road, the cars, and the items around.
This may also be because of the capture abilities that we had 13 years ago too.
It could be that too, yeah. Or this could genuinely be like a PS3 or something version of this game, because it did come out before I think even the PS4 was released. So it's been a long time.
Let's see if I can find a different version of this just to contrast it. But yeah, go on.
So this game, what's really neat about it is it just hit a lot of nostalgia for me, because it plays the same. I don't know if you'd remember, Adam, but there was these like Micro Machine racing games.
I'm still chasing a game that does what Micro Machines used to do for me on like the Genesis, Super Nintendo era.
Yeah, so this is very, very similar in the sense it's the top down on the cars, and you're still steering left or right with them, but obviously you're not behind the car. So you may be driving, towards the screen, and you need to go left, but you're actually, turning right on the joystick, because you have to picture how the car would control more like you're controlling like a remote control car versus like you're in the driver's seat because of the perspective. So yeah, this looks a little bit more.
Don't mind the speedrunner's timer in the bottom left version of the video version. It's the best I could find.
This does look a fair bit more like mine. Mine was like 4K Ultima settings, because like whatever, like it's an older game, right? But yeah, it's a lot of fun just as an indie game. I played it mostly on my Steam Deck. You can imagine it would work really well. There's a bit of a learning curve because of the whole you're not following behind the car normally, like you can be going towards the screen and stuff. This one here, I think you can change the camera angle, and that's what this person did, so it is always behind the car. I didn't do that. I left it in the original camera, which is where you're kind of like always this top-down view and always with the camera in the same position. So if you're driving downwards towards the screen, you'll have to turn right, but it's not like you're behind the car when you're doing the turning. It makes the game so much more fun, in my opinion, because this way just kind of feels like a racing game with a small car, where the other camera, it actually gives this like, you have this small remote control car, or you're in a helicopter looking down on the
action. You guys more
action
arcadey feel as well, I would imagine.
Yeah. And it's fun. Like, I played the game for 6 hours and beat I think they call it career mode in the game. It's very repetitive, I will admit that. It's always one map, and it's just that it puts a different course on the same map. So maybe you're in the top left corner, maybe you're in the middle, maybe you're in the bottom corner, but also in the same roads. Sometimes you'll have it where on that road, the last time you raced, you turned right, but this time they've walled it off that you turn left. So it's always the exact same map, just with different directions and then time of day and weather. So it does feel a little different each time, but you do start to get used to, like, I've seen this road a million times. I know I turned right last time, and this time I'm turning left, but like I've seen it a lot. And the career mode is nothing to talk home about or anything like that. It is very, very bare bones, in the sense that there are races, and there is like E, D, C, B, or A level. You have to have an E level car or D level car, or whatever it is, to do that race. And when you do the races, you start off the game in like rank 300 in the world. Every time you win a race, your rank goes down a bit, and you beat career mode, quote unquote, when you get to rank 1. So that's all it is. You're just racing over and over and over, and buying slightly better cars, and bumping up from like the E level races to the D, to the C, to the et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's fun. I really enjoyed it because of the nostalgia, because of the actual gameplay. But don't go in thinking the career mode is anything exciting. There's no voice acting. There's no cutscenes. There's no anything. It's just do a race over and over until you're in first place in the world rankings. No Need for Speed
Underground is what you're saying.
Basically. There's also online. Guess what? That was dead. I waited in a lobby for 10 minutes. I was the only person apparently in the world playing this online. So in that moment. So yeah, that's not there. But yeah, if you just want a game that you can kind of put on, I played it for like an hour at a time, just to kind of get the gameplay feels, the gameplay loop. And it was a lot of fun, especially if you have some sort of a handheld Steam Deck, anything like that.
I was going to say, this
Perfect.
seems like a Steam Deck game anyway.
Oh, yeah. Like, this reminded me of, like, the Micro Machines game if it had been released on a PSP or a Vita. Like, that's the vibes it gave me. So I loved playing it on my Steam Deck for that reason. But, yeah, like, don't expect anything crazy with the career mode. Online is dead. There's time trial and stuff like that where you race your ghost and everything. That's all there, but, again, it's the same tracks. So I don't think I would ever go back to it, ever. So, yeah. The other game I beat is actually Detroit Become Human. I finally played that. I love Quantic Dream, but I realized that I'd only played Heavy Rain. I actually hadn't gone and played that one. And what's the other one called? Beyond Two Souls, is that theirs too?
Yeah.
So
Elliot Page one. I almost tripped myself up on that one.
Yeah. So I haven't played either of those. I have both of them technically. I had them on the PlayStation because of the PlayStation Plus collection. I never had a PS4, that's why I obviously hadn't played them. Didn't keep going with PlayStation Plus. Realized like I don't want to pay $100 just to keep some of the games that I haven't played yet. So I looked and I was able to buy both of them for like $5 each or something like that on the PlayStation Store during a sale. So I just bought them and decided I just will finally actually play them. So played Detroit Become Human, and I cannot lie, this game blew me away. I was not expecting... Like, I've played, again, Heavy Rain. I've played choice-driven games that are very cinematic and quick-time events and that kind of stuff. And I loved Heavy Rain, but this definitely is an evolution of that to a crazy scale. I thought the graphics, which this is a game from, I think, 8 years ago at this point, they honestly rival games that, like, kind of come out today. I know on the PS5...
You know what it honestly looks like to me? What Watch Dogs 1 should have looked like?
Yes. That's probably honestly that's probably the best way you could describe it. Like, this is what I would have pictured Watch Dog 1 actually looking like, because it looks great. And the crazy part of this is it doesn't even have a PlayStation 5 upgrade. This is the PS4 version. I played it on a PS5 obviously, but it didn't have resolution turned up or graphics turned up. The frame rate was stuck at 30 FPS. That's the only kind of downside, I would say, of the PlayStation version of this. Oddly enough, I ended up getting this on PC as well, but I'd already started my my save on here, and I didn't want to start over. I got it on PC in a Steam, I think the winter sale that just passed, again for like $3 or something. So there is a better version of this you can play if you really care about the frame rate. But I kept going on the PS5 just because, again, my save was there. And it holds up. Like, this holds up so well. There's obviously a couple things like the motion captures, like the mouths of the character and stuff. You can tell, like, okay, this game is definitely like PS4. There's just that slight offness with the voice and the actual mouth movement and stuff like that. But when you look at the environments, the characters' faces when they're not speaking, all of that stuff, like, I could not believe how good this game still looked, and even looks better than some games even coming out today, to be completely honest. Now, this game probably
wouldn't played this on purpose, by the way, because literally, what are we about to talk about after this?
I know, right? Like, I kind of lines up a little too well. This game, I wouldn't say is for everybody. It is not your typical, action game or anything like that. There's no action unless you count quick time events. Then yes, there is some action there. It's mostly about decisions, story, graphical showcase, and QuickTime events for some action. The amount of choices in this game and that they actually matter actually was like a lot for me. I ended up getting the good ending, I found out after I beat it, because I played it like I don't want anyone to die. I want to do the right thing and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of accidentally being, wanting that good ending. It led me to the actual true good ending, which I wasn't expecting. I luckily didn't have anybody die, but I looked at how many times people could die after I beat it. And I also remembered certain QuickTime events and certain decisions. If I just chosen one other thing, people die, and you can actually end up beating the game where, like, basically the ending is, all the main characters are dead. Like, they're all dead because of you. yeah, the implications that also this like talks about and made me think about stuff like, are androids, if they start to think for themselves, are they actually alive? Are they a species versus a product and all that kind of stuff? Crazy, just crazy stuff. So I loved this, absolutely. I would give this, a 6 out of 6 or 10 out of 10. And I genuinely, I can't think of anything I'd actually change in it. I thought it was perfect for this style of game, for this style of game.
It's interesting too, because in all honesty, I really didn't like this. I might have to go back and replay it again, because it might be that just at the time it wasn't what it, in the same way that like I really didn't like Persona 5 when I first played it. Maybe just the story doesn't connect, but now with AI being where it is today, maybe it actually is a much more interesting game to me now.
That's
so it might
true.
Be something that I might look into again.
This may have hit me more because of, it's like, obviously we're not getting androids like they are in this game, because I think the android was invented in 2028 in the game. I was like,
yeah, like they're definitely being a little generous with it, but
yeah. But just like the actual talk of like, what does it mean to be alive? Would this be is this something we should be doing? Should we be going down this path? It seems like people's lives are not going very well, even though we're advancing in technology. It seemed very relevant. That's probably why I may have enjoyed it even more than I originally did. Plus, I also am just a big fan of this type of game. I don't always need it to be just an action game. I do really like the just make choices and kind of see scenes play out. It's, in a way, it is like a 10-hour movie, but I did really, really enjoy it. So.
Yeah, it's definitely something I might have to take a second look at, because I think I put about maybe 3 hours into it, and then I was just like, I'm not feeling it. But who knows? Maybe it just might be a fresher pair of eyes coming at it right now. Especially considering that I'm like in a weird funk where a lot of stuff's not kicking. Maybe it's just a good story again. We'll kind of light that fire again. So who knows? Might end up working out in the end.
100%. And if you don't have it on PlayStation, because I can't remember if you owned it or not, or if you played it through PS Plus or whatever, you can get it on PC for like $3 at this point.
I was going to say, I can't imagine it not being cheap these days. So
no, super, super cheap. I grabbed that and Beyond Two Souls actually at the same time. Both
Beyond
on
Two
PC.
Souls I did like a lot. So
yeah, that one I still have not played a single bit of it. That's going to be one that comes up soon. It won't be the next game I play, but it'll come up really soon because of this one.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I don't really have to even try to make a segue on this one, because we're going to be talking about AI. So
yeah,
NVIDIA's come out with this, what is it, DLSS 5, I think it's called?
Yes. Yeah.
So essentially I guess we can only really describe it as like it's an AI filter that gets procedurally generated on top of an image that you're doing. It's almost like, hey, make things look 4K and like overly pretty and realistic, to the point that there's a conversation from a different number of platitudes here. I want to work our way up, because if we start with the lead, then we might never stop.
Yeah.
Because like one of the first things that I noticed about it is being like, wow, this looks a lot more real than I don't know if I'm okay with.
Yes, I actually I definitely agree with that. It's kind of the same reason I'm not a fan if I'm scrolling on YouTube or something, that I see some of these AI videos where it's like, oh, here's what the Dragon Ball characters would look like in real life. And it shows the cartoon, and it just kind of morphs into this 11 out of 10 gorgeous human being that looks very realistic, like too realistic, but also like what we would want ourselves to look like, even compared to what the average person could even ever look like, with zero flaws and all, perfect everything. Mm-hmm. It's that uncanny valley or whatever they call it.
Yeah, like, and I don't think that it's necessarily bad to be realistic. Like, I still remember the Matrix visual demo that they did to show off Unreal Engine 5, I think.
Yeah.
And like, when I looked at that, I went, you know what? I don't have a problem with this, because I don't think realism is the issue. I think what the issue that I'm having with this is because it doesn't look like it's being made by like, obviously it's not being made by somebody, but the problem is like it looks very obviously that same style that we keep seeing in like three different, like it's basically three sets of visual styles that we see in AI videos.
Yes.
And like it's enough to be that it's uncanny for a different reason.
Yes, and that's exactly where I was going to go with this, because if anybody's like, "Oh, it doesn't look good," or "It looks worse than the original game," clearly
That's not true.
That's not true. Absolutely not. Like, especially those Starfield images that have appeared.
Like, does it look better? Yes, but does it look faker? Yes. Also.
Yeah, like I think it's because for me, you said it perfectly. There's only so many of these AI faces that seem to exist. Like, you have these AI videos of these girls or guys, and it's like, oh, here's Android 18 and Tifa and this and that. And somehow they all kind of have the same face. It's almost like everybody in Hollywood getting plastic surgery, and they're all starting to look like the same person because all the uniqueness of each character is kind of going away. That's my personal issue with the actual look. Not that it doesn't look like an incredible graphic showcase or anything. It's improved a lot of stuff, especially Starfield. I thought that was like an insane upgrade, but it's more just like, but it looks like all the other videos that I've seen. Like, I swear I've already seen this on YouTube. I swear it, because it's the same face.
And I think like the biggest thing too of like, again, like I said, I don't have a problem with too real. The issue is that when you look at these visuals, I mean, yeah, like it's going to make some games look better, but like what it's also going to do is take away from what's already there, and it's going to kind of make you think, I'm like, well, I'm not playing the game that I bought anymore, am I?
No.
Because like there's that style of realistic where it kind of makes you go, I now know that I'm not playing a game anymore. I'm now playing an AI's interpretation of it.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And like you can, like, Grace was the big one for Requiem. That's the one that's been showing up on all the thumbnails because of how pretty Grace becomes, how good that character model all of a sudden looks. But the thing is, though, when I look at that, I don't even see Grace anymore. I don't see, like, Grace in Resident Evil, even though I haven't played it, but obviously I've looked into this game. Grace is an FBI agent who isn't just about like her looks and all this shit. Like there's a specific character designed to her, just like Jill, just like Claire, just like Ada Wong. Like, they all have a specific look. And then this AI filter goes on it, and all of a sudden it doesn't look like an FBI agent at all. Like, the character that fits in this story is no longer here.
I almost want to call it the supermodel mod.
The supermodel. It's like Amber Heard.
It's just making them look like, okay, now we need to make them look like what every, like, terminally online perverted male is just wanting them to always look like.
Exactly. And I don't want that on every character, especially
because
like
that's another reason why it doesn't look realistic, because not every character is going to look perfect.
Yeah, it doesn't feel real if every character is a supermodel. And don't be wrong, like, obviously, like, good-looking character models are always going to be something. Like, there's a reason I want to play Stellar Blade, obviously. But
well,
it's
yeah,
just
who doesn't like the combat in that game? What are you talking about?
Yeah, the combat. There's combat in it? I don't even know. But it's just like,
it's bombastic.
I like what you did there. But yeah, like, the characters are designed with a specific vibe. Like Leon, Claire, Jill, Grace, like, they all have this Resident Evil, like, I'm in a horror film and I need to deal with this, and it's dark, but I'm, a good looking person, but I'm in this situation. And then all of a sudden a supermodel walks in and it's like, how is your, like, this doesn't fit the scene. All of a sudden you're just this glammed up character, and it's almost like somebody who saw the character on Twitter didn't like them enough, and they were like, oh, you should be you need to smile more, girl. Like, you need to have,
yeah. And I mean, we know mods already kind of do that, so like, it's not like it's an uncommon thing. It's just jarring to see a system just like that do it. Yeah,
because it's like, if you're playing Resident Evil, and obviously there's so many mods for the different guys and girls and stuff in that, and you go and do that, fine, whatever. You're goofing around.
Well, yeah, enough about giving Leon Kennedy, a Speedo and having to fight Mr. X in the thong. Oh, sorry, that was Chris Redfield. And
no, but like, that's true though. Those are mods that exist, and it's fine. Like, yeah, people go, like, people create those, and oddly enough, I find that the people making the mods, even though they're ridiculous and they've done something to them, somehow the character still looks like it exists within that game universe somehow, because they're taking the actual textures.
Thomas the Tank Engine does haunt your nightmares.
Not that one. Actually, that's worse. I don't know how that gets so much scarier, but at least it still looks like the actual game within, and it doesn't like, oh, wow, this is taking me out of the experience. It all looks like the same textures from the same assets within the same engine, you know?
Well, and that leads into a conversation that, at some point well, as we might even just move into it, it's the reason that it works that way is because you know that the person who's making it is making it from a perspective of they like the property and they want it to look good.
Yes.
I mean, not every, like, there are going to be new mod makers that make some pretty shabby looking ones because they don't really know what they're doing. But, like, when you go to the top page on Nexus Mods for anything and it's like outfit based, you know that these are being made with people that really like the game, had an image they really wanted to put into it, and put the hard work into it. And I think that's where the conversation goes because, like, we were talking in the Discord, which, by the way, you should be joining, Linktree in the description, or linktr.ee/pixelplay podcast for those that are not watching the video version on YouTube. We were having that conversation, and the thing that I said is, like, look, I don't have a problem with what DLSS 5 does. What I have a problem with is it's not being done by a human being that actually cares about the thing that's being made. Because 100%. There's a difference between a mod that was crafted manually by someone who has some level of creative talent and a system that is just programmed to make thing pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, like for all of how much I don't like the supermodel glam up of every character in a game because they're all just going to look like the same AI video I've already seen some or been served to me on YouTube a million times. That's like, I don't know, I want to say like 10% of my grief with this because it's all personal taste, right? Like that's like, oh, my personal taste doesn't fit this. But 90% of why I'm upset is because we're already going down a path where we're not relying on people or their skills or teaching people skills to actually create things. Like in the perfect future we were aiming for in people's heads before, like you take Star Trek, which obviously I know is not real, but the idea of that show was that, okay, we're going to in the future have, AI, because they have the computer on the ship and all that kind of stuff. But they removed all the mediocre tasks of life. They removed having to wash your clothes, having to cook, to brew your own tea. You can just say Earl Grey tea hot, and then boom, there it is. And we took all that extra time and all our extra resources to advance our cultures, advance world peace, advance exploration, advance like every character.
It's the idea that it was supposed to be there to help us get the things that we need so we can use that time that we have now to do things more constructive, creative, whatever that may be.
Yeah, we would elevate ourselves with education, the arts, exploration, and obviously that leads into Star Trek, them going out and going to different planets and stuff. And yes, while that's not real, that still was a very idealistic, like 300 years in the future, right? Like if technology allowed us to do this, this is where we could go. All that this new AI is doing is removing all of our creativity, all of our fun to haves, and forcing us to just kind of go and be stuck with all the mediocre crap, like running data centers so this can even freaking work.
And it's coming at the cost that we're already experiencing in the AAA industry, which is what my biggest gripe is with all of this, in that creativity is already coming few and far between for a lot of these companies, and now they have a tool that can literally mean that we don't have to try that hard because this system will now make it easier.
Yeah, a AAA company, and it'll be EA, it'll be Ubisoft, it'll be one of those. They're going to do it where it's like, well, we don't need as many graphic designers on the team because we can make the game with the bare bones character models and trees and lighting and all that kind of stuff. DLSS 5, yeah, that's what it's called, will take over. It'll do the rest.
The quote that I had in our chat was, for every one good company that will use this properly, Activision, Blizzard, and EA will do 2,000 things wrong with it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, they will hire
I don't have a problem with the tool itself. Like, if I'm being perfectly honest, I don't have a problem with the tool. Mm-hmm. I have a problem with how it's going to get used.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like, again, I don't love the supermodeling every single character.
I think this would be great for like foliage and backgrounds. Things are way harder to animate.
If anybody has a problem with that, yeah, I don't understand how. Like the lighting, the trees, the stone.
Can you imagine how little intricacies? Because you know how when you look at like things really close up, like in an open world game, like a wall or the bark on a tree, how like very obviously like not well textured it is. If you can fix something like that with this, that's a whole different ballgame, man.
Oh, 100%. Or older games where devs aren't going back and upgrading them. They're stuck in where they are. It's like a 4K texture mod, just, boom, applied right away. I'm 100% on board with that. It's not the end result I'm upset at or the tool itself. It's the path to get there is, okay, a computer will do this. We don't need to hire as many people. Normally we have, say there would be 30 graphic designers on team. I don't know developing, but let's just say, well, now we only need 10 because we just need the basic stuff. So now 20 people they normally would have hired or had on contract, maybe they're let go or they're just not hired because you don't.
Oh, they're going to let them go anyway once the game comes out. But that's enough.
They're not even going to even be on board when the game starts now. Like there's just 20 people less. AI can make music. AI can make images. Like we've already seen how many games have been caught for having AI art in their game and some of the backlash. Now it's going to be AI art as like literally the game. It's going to be the filter on top of it, cleaning up everything so that the devs don't need to worry about it.
Because and I'm sure some people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, you just hate AI. I'm like, I really, really don't. Like literally the other day, this is me taking out to my personal life a little bit, but it's not like getting super personal. But every once a month I go to an anime club local to where I live, and we've been looking for an idea for a new poster for a while, and we have this character that we made up because we always joke about isekai. For those who don't know what isekai is, it's basically anime where you get transported into another world kind of deal. And there's been weirder versions of this. Like there's one that we watched a lot that's called That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Vending Machine. So it's literally a guy being reincarnated as a vending machine, and it's just a square vending machine with eyes. So it's literally what you would expect it to be. It's like a mascot almost.
Yeah.
And at one point in our room, it was being used during construction of the building as like a storage spot, and there would just be this old-ass lawnmower just sitting there for a while. So we started calling it Lawnmower Coon. So it just became our mascot and for like a few months, and it just kind of evolved from that. So I had an idea to make a poster for it, but I can't draw for shit. And this is just a fun random thing we're thinking about for a club that we don't put any money towards, right? So I'm not gonna shell out money for an artist to draw something when I'm broke as fuck anyway. So I just let an AI system just hey, can you give me an image of what Goku would look like if he was using a lawnmower? And that's what that stuff to me is it's not being used for anything specifically other than something silly and fun that you yourself couldn't do. And it's not something that I'm using to get employed or anything. It's just there as a one-off thing that you know what? I just need this and I don't want to have to worry about that. That's what the point of it is.
Yes.
It's not meant
100%.
to take over something that you do. It's meant to assist you with something that you need at just any random time.
Absolutely. I use AI all the time. Now, mine's a different use case. But for example, I'll need a Excel formula for work or something along those lines. I could never write those for shit. So now I'm just hey, AI, what formula would I use if I wanted to do this? It gives it. Boom, there I go. It's made my job easier.
If you work a remotely professional job and you haven't used an AI tool yet once to help you write a more professional email than the one that you just wrote.
Yeah, and that. Yeah, for sure. There's so many good use cases for this that I don't hate, but I don't like the direction that it is going in social media because, again, going into my own personal life, on a daily basis, my mom my mom's retired, so Instagram is part of her day, and the amount of videos that are sent to me, and it's just a chimpanzee broke out of a zoo and stole a motorcycle and is going down the street. And my mom's oh my God,
I was about to say,
well,
enough about what the Republican government seems to send on a daily basis, but.
Yeah. And it's just oh, look at what just happened. And I'm looking at it and I can see the watermark that it's AI. I mean, it's clearly AI because it did not happen. But not only that, it's got the little watermark. And I have to remind my mom, no, this isn't a real video. This didn't really happen. This. I've done that on almost 20 occasions, I would say. And it's just alarming that it's just being fed because people are I'm going to make YouTube money. I'm going to just make an AI video every 10 minutes, dump it on YouTube, and people will see it. And it's just like flooding the market. It's just like malware games on like Steam or like a mobile store. Like there are great games that exist, but once you just start letting all the floodgates of all this crap of people using a tool to take advantage, try and make money, just try and flood, instead of like having one good quality product, flood this market with thousands upon thousands of crap, but they'll still make money out of sheer quantity. I hate that.
Yeah, like I think we can both say like we don't hate the direction that AI technology, or sorry, I shouldn't say direction. Direction is the wrong word. We don't have an issue with the leaps and bounds that AI technology is making. Mm-hmm. We have a problem with the direction that it's being taken and the way that it's being implemented.
Yes, exactly. Because unfortunately, and this is just human nature, you are going to go the same way like social media. Social media started like the original Facebook. It was a way to connect with your family and friends on your computer. We were already kind of doing it. There was, I'm aging myself here, but ICQ, MSN, that kind of stuff back in the day. And that was just an evolution. Instead of having to be live with someone talking, you could post on their wall and post pictures of yourself at a party or at a birthday for your nephew or whatever. Fuck, you would put your stuff on Facebook. But it slowly became taken over by people's bad behavior and corporations who use it to their advantage. We're like, oh, we need to make this addicting, fill it with ads, fill it with nonsense, fill it with this. And AI is going to be used the same way. It's like, here's a great tool you can use for creating your own poster that you'll use for your anime club or an Excel spreadsheet.
Well, the thing too, like even on top of that, I should have probably finished with this. That's the only thing I did with the AI system. It gave me the background. I have Photoshop skills, so I was able to do other stuff to it. But, like, I just needed that one thing because I'm like, that's the whole part of this poster. So, like, I need that part because it's going to be a bitch for me to do otherwise. And as soon as I got that, I'm like, all right, now I'm going to add this here, I'm going to add this here, and that all I can do. Because all it does is enhance what I can already do.
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes, a tool
it's not
you're
supposed
using to benefit.
replace what I can do. It's supposed to enhance.
Absolutely not.
And, like, if we implement this in the industry the way that we know some companies will do, it is replacing individuals from doing things, not enhancing the things that they can do.
Yeah, and not only that, like, I don't know if it's Spotify or Apple. Both of them have this problem, but one of them has actually taken a step forward. I think it might be Apple on Apple Music, has actually labeled when music is AI generated because there are
it's definitely not Spotify then.
No, it's not Spotify. I'm pretty sure like they both have it. Apple, Spotify, all of them have it. But one of them started having to label this is AI music and the other one has refused to do it so far. I think Spotify is the one that's refused. I have listened to some because I am curious. I've listened to a jazz album or a blues album. I've listened to so much, and it's not a real person and it's not real music. It's just somebody typed what type of music they wanted and then just put it on Spotify because then they make money off of that.
Yeah, the making money thing is where I'm going to have an issue with it.
Yeah,
like there are YouTube videos that I use like that somebody just does like Japanese like city pop versions of soundtracks. Like they did one of like Final Fantasy VII. I know it's AI, but it still sounds fucking cool to me.
For sure,
it's just something nice to have in the background. But I'm not sitting there going, you know what I need to do? Give them money.
No, 100%.
Which, by the way, I use an ad blocker, so they definitely aren't getting money from me.
I'm 100% on board with exactly what you're saying because I do the same thing. Video game lo-fi remixes of music, and some of it's AI generated. The image in the YouTube video of, Chrono and Marl like hugging under a tree, no one drew that. That's definitely some AI thing that's just happened.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that because it's a non-monetized, just here like, hey, we like this music. It'd be really fucking hard to actually figure out how to make this and get a band together or an orchestra. So
look, Game Chops does a damn lot of good work, but like, there's only so much they can do in a span of time with the amount of people that they employ under the record label. Which, by the way, makes me remember they even like DJ Cupman, who runs the label, actually had a conversation about this where he's like, look. Like, we understand there's nothing we can do. We can't put this genie back in the bottle kind of thing. But, like, all we can do is have our pride to go, no, like, we're not diving into this trend. Because at one point they got called out for unknowingly having AI art in, like, a couple of their albums. Like, it wasn't serious, but it was enough that they were like, and they redid it. They got an actual artist to redo them, and then now it's gone. So, like, they understand what the differences are, and it might affect their business in the long term, but like they would rather go the route of we're not going into that trap because we know that at the end of the day, you guys will come to stuff that you know is actually made by a real person because you know there's some heart and soul to it.
Yes, and that's my
like
thing
the stuff
with
the city pop stuff that I listen to. I know that there's no heart and soul in it. It's just something that a computer spat out. Does it still sound decent? Yeah. But am I going to listen to that over, a Too Mellow, like I said, with Demon Tides, or oh my God, why am I blanking on some of these? Like a Hyper Potions, or a DJ Cubman, or anything like that in that sphere? No, I would rather go to those guys before, like a Mega Ran, any of those guys. Like I would go to any of them long before I would have to choose, like, gun to my head, you're telling me to choose between one or the other? I don't really have to think much about it.
Oh, 100%.
In fact, I don't have to think at all about it.
Yeah, it's like any music that has lyrics. I'm not going AI. I don't want some AI voice. I want a real human being singing. Like, that's just something I want. But the way people are using it, we may be tricked. Like, when I listened to the jazz and the blues album on Spotify that was AI, it was alarming that you could not tell.
You're not really going to know the difference with those because there's not... Like it's just background music, so it's really hard to tell, right?
No, like with lyrics, like an actual blues singer. It was a woman's voice, and it was so convincing that it was a real person. If I had just been listening to like playlists of mixed music, I would have had no idea that all of a sudden that was an AI voice. It sounded like an actual like blues singer. It was alarming, and that's, again, I don't like that. Because it's not like I'm choosing to listen to some computer-made whatever crap that somebody's just thrown together, and there's no heart and soul and all that. And yeah, because again, like, why will we need music artists? Why will we need graphic design artists? Why will we need gaming developers if AI is able to just apply this filter or create it, and people can just type "make me this," song? So that's my big issue here. It's the path that we would need to go down to use this tool the way that companies or whatever is going to use it. And the developers would probably use it. And then, of course, people are going to jump on this. Like, you get the supermodel filter on everybody and all that. People are going to start wanting it and using it and everything. And like, even if developers are like, well, we're going to still make what we want to make, that's still probably what people won't even end up playing, because they're all going to turn on the like make everybody
and that's
super
the thing,
hot
right?
filter.
Like if we can make like if they come up with a way to make it so that it does not affect characters in any aspect, which I don't know how you would program that, because how do you do that in an open world game where it affects everything except this one little thing? It would mean there's going to be these weird edges. Like we know
it would be
that's what
tough.
happened.
Yeah.
So like in my opinion, if you told me right now, do you want it in games at all? No, I don't. Because it's going to be everything or nothing, and I don't want everything included in that. If there was a way so that, like, as it's loading a game, like the way that like shaders load when we're playing like a big game or something, if there's any way that it can just affect those things as it's like loading everything else, fine. Again, I don't know how that would work because I'm not a goddamn programmer. Yeah. But like, if it's everything or nothing, I don't want to fucking near my games. I don't want anybody even have the option for it.
Yeah, I don't want it there. Like, I know
don't want a
what
dependency on people to have it.
No, because, yeah, and that's another thing. Like, even if it's like they don't fire extra people or hire less people, which we know they would do, developers are also just going to start to rely on it, much like they rely on frame generation for some games and upscaling.
That's another thing that I was saying. It's like, I don't want to give developers an out for bad work.
Yeah, they will have it, and they'll take it. And we'll have games flooding. If this can apply to just anything, we're going to have games flooding Steam and all that kind of stuff.
Like, I don't want a common thing on a review to be like, well, the graphics are bad, but as long as you use DLSS5, it's fine. I'm like, those words should never have to be spoken.
Yeah, that's like, oh, this movie is horrible, but as soon as you apply the AI filter to it and AI makes a better version of it, it's good. Like, what?
And
that's
like the conversation that I'm sure some people would say is like, well, like the devil's advocate. Well, I mean, if it's just a choice, like it's fine, isn't it? No, in this case, I'd say no, it's not. Because, again, you're now choosing to play literally a not human version of something that you... Like, if you bought this game, why are you wanting to play a version that was not made by the people you bought this from?
Yeah, 100%.
What's the point then? What are you buying it for?
Yeah. It's just so weird.
Even in a free-to-play game might have a weird thing about it, but if it's free-to-play, like, you know what? I think I can have a little bit of wiggle room with that because it's still taking away somebody's creative vision, but at least your money's not going towards it. unless it's microtransaction written, in which case, okay, fine, that's a different story too. But like, if it's never everything or nothing, I don't want it there because I don't want someone's work to not be used. Because if you're a gamer that only plays with that filter on at all times, you're essentially playing no one's work.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yeah, like I don't like the non-human aspect. I don't like what it means for, taking away opportunities and stuff, because this will affect jobs. Like no matter how you look at it, that the developers would. And then it's going to also, they're going to start making us rely on it, just like upscaling. Oh, upscaling's optional. I can't think of one game that is released in the last while where upscaling is optional. No, it's not. If you want it to be at a decent resolution, upscaling is on every single game on the Xbox, on the PlayStation, even on PC. You play with upscaling or you're not going to have a good time. Mm-hmm. That's where we're at now. And this will be the new upscale. It's literally DLSS, which is the upscaling, and kind of all mixed into one. Again, like you said, I'm fully on board. If this just affected the environment, the cobblestones, the lighting, the trees, like the stuff the foliage.
Like it's what I've said too. Like I don't have a problem with things being used with AI that in the current day we are not able to allocate the resources towards. An example that I gave was open world NPCs, where they generally are like the same one person in a booth, and their voices being used for like 700 characters, and it's like the same 2 lines. If you're not going to do work for that, okay, fine. Like if we're not going to have like a game, like if the game was never going to employ a bunch of voice actors for a 1-line dialogue on an NPC, this isn't something like say Oblivion where they do, or like Elder Scrolls games where they actually do. Mm-hmm. But like for games that would never do this, I don't have a problem with an AI being used to generate like realistic reactions in terms of voices, because some of them can be so jarringly bad in terms of like what little like voicing they actually use and just how they randomly throw it and stuff, so that it doesn't sound like legitimate at all. That's worse than an AI that you might not even catch.
Yeah.
But like again, it's how far will that line go and how far will that company use it for, which is the other problem. I think there are things that we can use it for. I just don't trust the industry to use it correctly.
I completely agree.
Like I
with
said,
you.
There's one company that will do it right, and then probably 10 companies that won't.
Yeah, you'll have CD Projekt Red will have like this Witcher 4, which will have fucking thousands of NPCs everywhere. And yeah, like them using it responsibly would be them using it on just a bunch of a bunch, whatever, of the NPCs inside towns, because they just could not hire people to make it.
Yeah, like can
unique.
you imagine an open world game that you're playing for like nearly 100 hours and every NPC doesn't sound like they're monotone talking to you?
Yeah, like if I go back
how
and play
much that
Grand
would
Theft
enhance the realism and like the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not the involvement, what the immersion.
Immersion. Yeah, 100%. Like I agree, that's something a good use for it, and I'm fully on board with that because it makes sense. They probably weren't going to hire that many people to do different voices, so maybe they still hire that 1 or 2 people.
If we could ever get to that point one day, then yeah, let's remove the AI tech again, or we can get to a point where we can do that kind of stuff. Will that day ever come? Probably not.
No,
but if the option ever existed, I think that we as an industry should apply that.
For sure.
The problem is what this honestly means is that the next time Call of Duty decides to do a game, apart from the couple of main characters there are, every other thing is going to be like, all the other soldiers are going to be all like not voiced at all. It's just going to be whatever random AI things. All the skins are going to be whatever AI decides to, like, they're going to use it for everything.
I love that.
It's a matter of the technology is never the problem. It's the people using it.
Yes. Exactly, because as like CD Projekt Red, the example I gave, funny enough, you used Activision. That's who I was going to say is going to take it and not use it in that one way. They're going to apply it to basically all the main characters except the first one, because they'll hire some actor or whatever, like Kevin Spacey will come in, and that's who will be the first person. Every other character is just going to be AI. All the skins of the characters are going to be AI.
Yeah, the fear is that it's like a cast of 7 people, and then like 50 people do not have a job now.
Yeah. Yeah, like, because you take, like, Detroit Become Human that I played. That was a lot of voice acting. That was basically the game.
And they took voice acting jobs away from that AI, Chris.
the androids took the AI jobs. What? But yeah, like the thing is that's what made that game so good. All the voice acting and the level that people put in. Like even you talk about Mass Effect all the time, Mass Effect 2 and stuff. And you had like Martin Sheen, is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah, like and stuff like that. Like it's amazing to have like such people in it doing their voices and putting that like effort in. Like I know people give Troy Baker shit because he's in every fucking game, but
There's a reason.
There's a reason. He like him and Indiana Jones. I was almost convinced it was Harrison Ford. You're
Also,
telling me.
speaking of, how stupid would it be to have that filter on it and now makes Indy not look like Indy?
Yeah, that's true. It wouldn't look like Indy. They did such a perfect job with that, and all of a sudden it's going to look like this AI Indy with like perfect makeup. Like I don't know. But yeah, like you're telling me that they're not just going to use AI to do Harrison Ford's voice for the game instead of hiring somebody who can do a Troy Baker like voice impression of him. It would just be AI. It would be Harrison Ford as AI because he's too old to do his own voice. He'd give permission, and boom, there it would go.
That's the other thing too. Like there are ways you can also have it like be permissible as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. Like somebody I think in our Discord had mentioned that there was a character, an actor, voice actor who died that did Cyberpunk. They came out with the expansion. They used AI and the family's permission to continue that character's voice just for the expansion instead of replacing them, which I'm on board with. It keeps the same voice throughout the whole game instead of all of a sudden the first half of the game is one voice and then
It's like the thing that we're already seeing with the CG rendering of like dead characters, like say with Carrie Fisher in Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, I think that there's a way to use it respectfully. The problem is I even said, I think I said something similar. I don't think it was verbatim this in the Discord, but like the one thing that really gets me the most is this would be fine if this was in a time where the trust, not only in like the tech companies, but the gaming industry itself was at a high. But this is the worst time for this because our trust in the main people that like make the biggest things in this industry are at the lowest it's ever been.
Yeah, 100%.
So when we have this industry being as toxic as it is right now, and we're putting this tool into it, and you're expecting me to be okay with that?
Yeah.
No, sir. Not a chance.
No, we've been down this road before. We're already on that road, and this is just a huge leap forward in the same bad direction I don't want to be going, and I don't like it.
Like, we know that this is like they're going to keep pushing this for a while. We know that Windows and Nvidia and all that, they're going to be pushing real hard on this for a while. And it's just we're going to have to see just how much fighting back we're going to have to do to get this tapered a lot back. It won't just it's not just a little that we want to taper back, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're going to go with this because they put so much money into this. So they're not going to stop for a while. So like if this does actually become a normal thing, we collectively as a gaming community need to come together and go out of our way to fight it.
Yeah.
Whether that means every time, whether it's NVIDIA themselves or if a company like, and I don't care who it is, if an indie company tries to release a trailer and shows how it looks with DLSS 5, we got to bully them. I'm sorry, but we got to.
Yeah, I'm not
in the same way that if Rockstar comes out and like, oh, here's their new GTA 6 trailer. Also, here's what it looks like with DLSS 5. Bully the fuck out of them. Because as we've learned, bullying actually works.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I agree. We do need to come together. Like, this will
And
only
by the
work
way,
if
guys,
people don't buy it.
when I'm saying bullying, I mean bully the fucking bigwigs of the company. Don't bully like some PR manager or whatever that's kind of just in the crossfire here. Like how we do every time with like a voice actor having something to do with something. We're like, let's bully them instead of like the actual company.
Yeah, no. This is like tweet at the company itself. Like, yeah, do that. Maybe not tweet, whatever.
And then don't buy it.
And don't buy it.
If we feel that strongly about it, don't participate in it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if we don't buy, that's the thing with this AI. Like, they've even made comments. I think it was Microsoft, where it's like, oh, like if people don't start using AI, we may not be able to keep it around. And it's like, yeah, that's called supply and demand.
It's like, okay.
There's no demand. You're trying to force demand, and it doesn't work that way. So if we don't want this, you don't buy it. That's it. That's all it is. Like, you don't buy it.
It's funny how some people are like, oh, vote for your wallet, and then when you don't buy the thing that they want, it's like, well, not like that. Because, I mean, like, look, in the way that we're all really testy about anything that's like hero shooter, live service based, that's AI to us right now. And if they want to keep playing this game, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Just won't buy it. And then they'll have to sit there and be like, wow, we didn't make any money off. Well, these fucking CEOs won't care. They've made their billions of dollars and we're going to leave with whatever stock options they have, but whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how to say it other than just this industry continues to see how far it can fuck us in the ass, and I'm getting kind of tired of it. Because like, I love video games, but it's really hard to love them when they don't seem to love us back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I say that as, the indie industry is perfectly fine, but
Oh yeah, the indie industry. Yeah, this never applies. This is all big publishers for sure.
because like my depression in the games industry right now completely stems from the AAA sphere. AA is hit and miss, depends on which folks it is.
True.
But like indie, there's no stopping the creativity going on over there. For God's sakes, one of the best games from last year was a game literally just to, was that last year? No, the year before. Balatro. Timing's weird, man. Like 2 years ago, one of the biggest games was just literally some guy who made a game that was a roguelite about poker that he was making for like him and his buddies.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So like not everything is Call of Duty.
No. Yeah. I did see some funny memes, though, coming out about DLSS 5. And my favorite one was actually from the official Cult of the Lamb Twitter, where it had the picture of the lamb, who's a cartoon, like, right? And then, it says DLSS 5 on, and all of a sudden it's this gorgeous, like, lip injections, like, version of the lamb. I was dying. Especially that it came from that official account. So I have a feeling that not many indie developers are on board with this because it's not like their
I can't
graphic
imagine
style,
why.
It's not like their graphic style even would benefit from this. Like if I load up Pac-Man, what's that going to look like? Like, you know what I mean? Like there doesn't need to be this glamification of everything. Sometimes something's an art style and it's done on purpose. Like
well, I
Cult
mean,
of
you
the
ask
Lamb.
a certain terminally online clientele, they will tell you always that they need to because, God, Aloy can't have fucking hair on her face.
Oh, that I immediately thought of Aloy, like the amount of people that would apply this DLSS 5 filter and it would add like the makeup or whatever to her face, remove the hair, like a bit more lipstick, probably make her smile more somehow. Like it would just be like this. Oh, make her like a better, more attractive, likable female.
Yeah, like by the way, incels, just a piece of news for you.
Fuck.
Mods already exist. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, and if you're gonna be like that, just go fucking install.
You want
a
it that
mod.
bad? Learn how to code and fucking make your own.
Yeah. Yeah, there doesn't need to be an AI filter to fix your, like, I need women to look, or men, to look a specific way for me to be like, this
Yeah,
game
which,
is
by
good.
the way, tells me real quick that you aren't actually with anybody because you clearly don't, like... I love the fact that so many of these people are like, well, they don't look pretty enough. I'm like, your standards are a little bit fucked, buddy.
Yeah.
Tell me that you don't actually hang around a woman any easier than that.
Yeah, there's no woman that looks like this AI upscaled version of Grace in Resident Evil. There
Like,
just
look,
isn't.
all of these people, I guarantee you, I look better than they do, and I know where my fucking, like, my bar is. Like, I know how far I can probably get to. And it ain't gonna be that level of hot. So, you know, like, when these people are like, oh, I don't think this woman's pretty enough, I'm like, yeah, and even the one that you think is not pretty wouldn't fuck you either. So I don't know what you're trying to get at here.
Adam,
It's just the thing of, like, we know it's being made by a bunch of tech fucking billionaires that can't get any attention from anybody, and this is just their way to get around it.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And
Like, at this point, Elon, just make the sex robots and get it over with. Like, Jesus Christ.
No, I just played Detroit Become Human. That goes bad. Don't do that.
Just get it over with. Like, we know that's what you want. Just get it over with so you can get your fix, because clearly no one wants to touch you anymore. Just get on with it.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised that it's NVIDIA pushing this. They're so in the AI, like, data centers with OpenAI.
They get one little bit of extra of money, and they're like, well, that's our entire business model now. Bye-bye.
100%. Their entire model is based around AI. I mean,
I
Microsoft's
can't
very
wait
similar.
to watch all of these companies close in like 5 to 10 years, because they're all going to shut down. This is going to crack.
They're going to have to.
It's unsustainable. It's going to crack.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I
also.
just hope it's sooner than I want it to be. I'm hoping the 5 to 10 years means it's in 4.
Yeah. Yeah, because this DLSS 5, they said it's also only going to be on, like, the newest high-end NVIDIA card that's going to be
that
coming
no one
out.
can afford.
Yeah, like, nobody can already afford anything, but so it's going to be on the $3,000 card. Because guess
Also,
what?
it's going to need 128 gigabytes of RAM, which could go good luck getting that.
Yeah. like the thing is that anybody who's also excited for this, if you do not have an NVIDIA PC, you'll never see it. Because DLSS is not on any other kind of card. And guess what? The PS6 and the new Xbox run AMD.
Oh, no, my AMD Radeon, whatever shall I do? Oh, not have it? Cool.
Yeah, like I felt like you, I have an AMD computer. Sometimes I'm sad I don't have DLSS. It's the only feature I feel like. FSR is good, but I've got a bit of an older one, so I'm stuck on FSR 3. I would love the newer version of DLSS. It is the best upscaler, just for upscaling resolution. Me being like, oh, my PS6 won't be able to play DLSS 5 because it's an AMD card. I don't care. I don't
worry about it. That's like a 6 years from now problem, the way this is starting to go.
Also that. But that means no console will have this until 2037 or 2036. Like, and by then, is this even going to be a thing? I don't think so. I really don't.
No. So, like, I'm not particularly worried about it right now. It's that case of like, okay, well, if my pessimistic brain stays on, how much worse could this get?
Yeah. Yeah, what's the next step after this?
Because, like, at the end of the day, this medium, we've been fighting so hard for it to be called an art form, and almost as soon as it's becoming an art form, it's slowly being used to being taken away from that. So, 100%. Like, it's frustrating.
Yeah. And this is step one, and then step two is like, oh, we don't even, like, the AI will actually even build the character model from the ground up, and then all of a sudden it's like,
we're working the way to, like, it just plays the game for you.
Yeah, we don't even need developers. The game will just be made from somebody.
We're all going to turn into the characters from fucking WALL-E.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The future is bleak, in my opinion, with this stuff. So.
Well, no shit. Where is the optimist future right now?
I love how corporations are all like, what? No, AI is really good. Copilot should go in your Xbox. And all customers are like, oh my God, go away. Yeah.
Viva la resistance.
Yay.
That's all we can do.
That's all we can
do. But yeah, any last thoughts? Because I think I've got all my points through here.
No, I'm good. I've got it all out.
We will take that away. So those of you, if you're like, obviously if you're watching this on YouTube, comment below, let us know what you think about it. But otherwise, we're going to take this sucker off the air here. Perfect time.
Okay. AI's getting Adam. AI's going for Adam.
I need an AI voice box so I don't choke on my own spit before I do something. Jesus, that hurt. Anyways, so Friday, we are back to our top 5s on SideQuest. So we did our top 5 character designs from the Zelda series, so look forward to that. Saturday, I knew I forgot something at the intro. Fucking mystical ninja. So you know what, I'm ending on this quickly. For those who either watched the stream on last Saturday or saw the POV, I haven't rage quit a stream yet, and I had to, although partially it was because I was fucking hungry, so that didn't help. So there is this platforming minigame that you have to complete for the story, and I don't know what the fuck was wrong with what I was doing, but like for 15 to 20 minutes, I kept getting hit by invisible walls, the A button was not working for the jump sometimes, and I was just getting frustrated. I think it was on my 5th or 6th run of it, and my stomach is killing me, so I'm just like, okay, one more of this, and if I don't get it, I'm shutting the stream off. We'll come back to it later. And I decided, you know what? I'll do this offline, and I'll decide. And literally, I hit record on it, and it's not going to come out now because why would I send it out? Because there's no point. But I had a 30-minute timer set, and if I couldn't beat it within that 30-minute timer, I probably would have quit sooner than that. But that's not beside the point. But if I had made it that far, I was done playing Mystical Ninja on stream. That was going to be the end of it. I booted up, and I first fucking tried it.
The funny part is I remember playing that on my Steam Deck a couple of years ago, and that part was difficult, but I was not having the problems you were having. And I will admit, as somebody who was watching the stream, I was fucking dying laughing.
I'm so glad that somebody was enjoying my pain.
Your suffering was so funny. It was so...
And I think it helped as I went into the offline recording. I'm like, okay, at least I know what areas seem to be giving me problems, so I'm going to try to work around that. And just that time, I figured it out. So I probably, if I just stuck on stream, maybe a couple more runs, I would have gotten it. But my stomach was having none of it.
No, you probably wouldn't have. You were too frustrated, hungry. Your mind
I was
wasn't
I was
focused.
ready to be in a Snickers commercial. Who would have played me? Danny DeVito. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, probably Danny DeVito.
Done. All right, problem solved. Anyways, but yeah, I'll be back to Mystical Ninja Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. So look forward to that. I think we're probably 2 streams away from being done. I think.
Yeah, I would
That's
say
just
you'd
a
be able
guess.
to do it. Yeah. From what I remember.
I mean, it could be 1 if I go long enough, but I'm pretty sure my stomach will have something to say about that. I'm a very regimented soul, so like we start at 9:30. Once it's 11, my body goes, this is lunchtime. Why aren't we eating yet? And then as the time goes further and further past 11, it's like, hey. And then eventually I finally have to give into it. But
Yeah. So good.
But alas. So one more time, now that I've actually have gotten through everything, that's going to do it for this week's episode. So you guys know the usual, but hey, just a review. If you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, get that algorithm going for us. We do appreciate that. And now our journey to 500 subs is getting closer. We're at 447, which is not where I thought we'd be at this point, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Otherwise, if you're listening on any audio platform, whether that's Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, if there's ability to give us a rating, please do so there. Otherwise, share this with all your friends. And don't forget our link tree. I did put it at the beginning, but I'll do it again anyway. linktr.ee/PixelPlay podcast, which links to our Discord. That's really the main focus of it because we do want to hang out with you guys. But also link to our socials and all that fine stuff. So anyways, that is going to do it. We'll be back next week with hopefully not an AI story. And we will see you on the next ones. Take care, and bye-bye for now.